Good morning, Logan, and welcome to the first ever flipped classroom professional development presented by your stat teacher, MJ Ordakowski. What we're going to take a look at today in terms of this presentation is basically an outline of the digital conversion and what's going to take place over the next 4 to 5 years in Baltimore County Public Schools so that we can prepare our scholars to be the best prepared learners for our 21st century. Here we go. So here we go. The instructional digital conversion, also known as STAT. STAT stands for Students and Teachers Accessing Tomorrow. Our objective for this PowerPoint is that you will be able to gather more information about the organizational development plan for our instructional digital conversion. So let's take a look back. Some of us when we were kids would play with this type of communication device. And some of us when we were kids would play with this type of communication device. But today, this is the type of communication device that our students play with. And some have more knowledge of it than we do. For those of us that have been teaching for more than 25 years, in order to communicate, our communication device was write a note, place it in that person's mailbox, and wait for a response in your mailbox. Where today, our communication is all completely digital. We will email each other or text each other to get information. In terms of documents like IEPs, 25 to 30 years ago, an IEP was handwritten in triplicate by the special educator, where now all of those documents and many others are completed from the computer. We've moved from the chalkboard to the overhead, from the film strip projector to the whiteboard. So, why are we taking this walk down memory lane? Well, because change continues to happen and will continue to happen. As teachers, with this change, we have an obligation, and here is our obligation. We need to ensure a learner-centered, personalized, and blended environment for our scholars, and we're going to do this by the digital learning that will take place anywhere and anytime, and literally by anyone. This is how our scholars currently view learning. It's a blended and personalized learning. It's socially based, it's untethered learning, they can learn anywhere, anytime, and it's digitally rich. This is an outline of all of the conversions that are currently taking place within Baltimore County public school systems. As you can see, it's a tremendous conversion. And here is our digital conversion timeline. This year is really a year of awareness in terms of taking a look at our infrastructure and the Common Core implementation. Full implementation of the digital conversion will not be completed until 2018-2019 school year. I really liked this slide when this presentation was shared with me, because change is necessary and change will always continue to happen. So I'd like you to just take a minute or two and read through these quotes about conversion and find one that you really identify with. As with any type of change, it's very expected and normal to have stages of concern. So take a look here at this continuum of stages of concerns and see where you fit along this continuum. So how does this affect us as educators, as teachers? Well, we're having a new ask of us from society, not only to educate all students to high proficiency levels, but also to produce a new workforce. and this workforce needs to be able to compete in a 21st century global marketplace. If we take a look at this graph, you can see that the new skills needed by our scholars as 21st century learners is double what was expected of students in the 20th century. The amount of information and skills that they need to possess is astounding. So, how do we accomplish this? What do we need to know and do to move our learning environments from the traditional to the modern? We as teachers have to prepare to meet the needs of the 21st century learners. Here's the vision. The picture on the left is an outline of a traditional classroom, much as it was probably 5 to 10 years ago. Where if you take a look at the picture on the right of the modern classroom, it's really the conceptual age and what we want to see learning look like within a classroom. In terms of the nuts and bolts of the digital conversion within the county, these bullet points outline some of those specifics. Right now, there are 10 different devices that are under review. These devices are both tablet and keyboard devices. Whichever device is chosen is going to be the same device for students in kindergarten through 12th grade. The new Mace Chapel Elementary School that will open next year is going to be used as the digital model. That school has no computer lab. The baseline for what schools will have is currently on our Baltimore County Public School website if you need more information. There will be IT positions in all secondary schools to support the repair and maintenance of these devices. There will be a 24-hour turnaround for the repair and maintenance of these devices. At the elementary school level, there will be one IT position per 3 schools. So, for example, here at Logan, we would share our IT position with 2 other elementary schools. Whichever device the county does purchase, it will be leased. We are not buying them at this point. As Steve has said in the past, technology will no longer be a special. It's to be embedded in everyday learning. Currently, policies and procedures are now being reviewed in terms of the dynamics and the lawfulness and the use of these devices by scholars, whether it is in school or at home. And the county is also planning on providing workshops and courses through in-service in terms of best practices for these devices. That concludes our presentation. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to give me an email.